I hope internet is good enough. Yes, I think it is. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
And little Barnacle's here too.
Hi. Do you want to go say hi?
I don't want to lift her up. We've
Aw.
forced a lot of her the last days.
Yes, she's been on the boat a lot, but here, let's just have her say hello. Oh, yes. Oh, hi, Barney. Do you want to say hello? Hi. Yeah, Barnacle needs to go to the groomer. She's a little hot.
Isn't she going next week?
She's going on Wednesday.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh. Hello, everyone. It's been such a long time since we've done a live like this. I don't even remember. When was the last time?
Over winter at some time.
Oh, I think you're right. I think we did a live when we launched our course. That's right. Yeah. Well, this is fun. My video this week wasn't ready, and I felt very stressed. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? We do not need this. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to push that video to next week. And we're going to go live instead. It's always a good time. So here we are. Hi, welcome.
One of the reasons for the stress that Sophie was talking about is because, well, as you can see behind us, we actually don't have cushions in this boat.
Yeah.
We're still missing a lot of things in the boat.
I don't think that you would notice from this angle.
It says audio is having a problem.
Audio is having, that's because my microphone is kind of off. All right. How about that? Does that work better? Hi, Jay. Hi, Cyrillist. Hi, Gabrielle. And also, hello, Simon Sydney. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're right. I am a little bit stressed, but I think that we have become a little bit better at managing it this year. How's the audio this time? It's better. Okay. I think it's because our microphones, we're using those. I have become really addicted to those Rode wireless microphones. They pick up a much better sound. So I thought we were going to use them. Hi, Steven. Idea. Use Ryan's legs for thumbnail clickbait. Yeah. Should do that more often.
So yeah, we don't have cushions on the boat. We don't have any of our personal items on the boat.
No.
We have some cooking stuff.
We have a bucket sitting right next to you.
We have a Huck bucket, not sponsored, but they're pretty great.
It's not whatever. Ryan got a Huck bucket for his birthday.
They're pretty great, actually. They have,
it's
the most. We can talk about the Huck bucket later.
It's the most decadent bucket money can buy you. Yeah, and it's not a cheap one either.
No, but it's good.
Are you going to put it in the frame? Really?
It was in the frame.
I thought that to start with, we could maybe give you a little tour of Polar Steel and how she looks right now. Maybe I should put a little trigger warning out there.
Why?
I'm joking.
This boat looks great compared to how it did the last weeks.
Fair. It's
like great.
It's not been...
It's like spotless clean compared to how it was.
It's not been amazing. There is no sewage in the bilge, which is always a plus. We like that.
Yes, there's no sewage.
I cleaned it. Anyways, we've had a few pretty, very filled week. A lot of things have been going on.
It's been weeks. For me, it's been months.
Yeah. It's been frustrating because the progress has been slow.
Yeah.
It was both very intense, but also very slow, it feels like. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So without further notice, let's take the camera out and give you a little tour of how Policy looks like right now. I think I'm going to need your help, Ryan.
Are we going to move the laptop, though?
I'm going to try not to move the laptop.
Just move the camera.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Here, we're going to move it. So there we go. Here is the setup. Oh my God. I need to try not to fall. We're going to put the autofocus on again. So if we look down, there we go. We have no floorboard. I know, right? Not great. I am going to try to deodorize the boat very soon. And so we need the bilge to be open and accessible. So yes, no floorboard. And now very slowly, we're going to go into the galley and the chart table, which look a lot worse than they actually are. It's just messy, I would say. So my plan is to empty all of those cabinets. I've actually already emptied this cabinet, which I affectionately named the Cabinet of Death.
They lost your sound.
Oh, they lost my sound?
Yeah.
Oh no, how so?
It just said,
Oh, Ryan,
lost your
did you disconnect anything?
no. Just says you
No.
lost your sound.
Okay.
Sound okay.
Sound okay? Okay. Good.
Okay. Oh no,
Let's-
sound is gone.
Sound is gone. Normal. Sounds perfect. Sound fine for us. Oh my God. This is stressful. All right, let's go back to our little tour. There was my mouse. It's all good. Okay. So if we turn left to Ryan, we are now in the V-berth. Here are the floorboards that are missing from the floor. And the V-berth looks quite okay, actually. You did a good job, Ryan. Those are our foul weather gear and some clothes that we have on. So my plan is to empty the boat entirely so that when we move on board, we don't have a lot of clutter. So I have been removing a lot of the clutter from the boat. If we go back to the bedroom, I think I'm going to
Steven
need...
says that's cleaner than when he slept there.
Fact. That's accurate. If you can just help me move move the laptop slightly to the right so we can enter the bathroom. Or can we enter the bathroom? There are bags in front of the door. Okay. Look at that bathroom. It's almost clean. Almost clean. And there is a new toilet that now works. We had some issues earlier with said toilet, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. And then this is the aft cabin, which is almost ready for us to move back on board. All right, there's Barney. Hey, Barney.
There's a barnacle.
And we're going to come back. Okay. How was that for a tour, you guys?
We lost a few people.
We lost a few people to sound issues.
No, to I don't know why. It's fine.
Okay.
One of the cool people still.
Oh, you are looking at the count.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right. I never look at the count. It makes me way too self-conscious. Let me make sure that we are in focus. Yes, we are. Oh, good. So yes, that is the state of the boat currently. Making progress. Where would you say we're at?
We just need to move our personal stuff on the boat.
You think that's all that needs to happen?
What do you think we need to do?
So one of my projects, as I've said, has been to kind of empty everything that we've had on board for the last 5 years. One thing that happens after a few years of living on the boat is that everything gets really ruddy, very aged. Everything that lives on the boat ages very fast, including you as a person.
She touches me.
No, I have aged. I mean, look at this. I have white hair now. It never happened before. It happened in the last couple of years. And it's felt, you don't really see it developing. You don't really see it happening. But now that I've been back on board and opened all the cabinets, I look at our knives, our cutting boards, all of those everyday objects, and I'm like, some things need to go. So one thing that I really want to do is to swap some of our equipment, kitchen equipment. I need to buy new towels for the boat because the one that we have definitely had a rough life. We need to buy a new mattress because also had a rough life. Probably a little bit of new bedding as well.
Yeah, but I think that's all just like moving our personal stuff on the boat.
Yes, maybe you're right. But I think it's probably not going to happen over the course of one day. Probably going to take a few days.
Yeah, I would like it to happen sooner than later. I'm so tired. I want to get going.
Yeah, he's so happy.
I want to get going.
So anyways, that's where we're at.
I've been working on the boat for weeks and I keep seeing boats go out and I'm just like,
I know.
I want to go.
I know. This weekend in the US is Memorial Day weekend, or is it Memorial Weekend? How do you say
Memorial Day weekend.
It's Memorial Day weekend. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
No.
Only the Monday.
It's the Monday, but it's a long weekend.
Anyways, we know a lot of people and have a lot of friends who are out on the water this weekend. And I wanted to organize a Patreon raft up. And something inside of me told me, do not do it on Memorial Weekend because...
And then after that, I did a major, this is like my third round of electrical overhauls on the boat. But the reason we did it was because we are putting the next generation of the Dakota lithiums on board, and um, I ended up making all the batteries lithium on board. So we have a lithium starter battery and lithium bow thruster now, and then the house bank. So everything's lithium, and because of that, I needed to rearrange the battery box. But I've also wanted to just rewire the whole thing. When you're living on board a boat, a lot of times it's very hard if you're doing projects to do it exactly right and exactly perfect because you're living on the boat. So the power can't be down for very long. You only have so much room to work. And then at night, you need to live in the boat. So you have to put it all back together. So because we weren't living on the boat, I had the opportunity to do this project that I wanted and fix all the crap that I have done on the boat the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I pulled everything out of the battery box and I thought, oh, this will only take a week. And it took 4 weeks.
It took more than 4
It
weeks.
took about 4 weeks.
One thing that we tend to forget too when we do extensive refits and install new systems on board is that once you have installed it and started to test the new system, there is a troubleshooting period that can be more or less extensive.
Yeah. Well, the troubleshooting didn't take so long.
No, it's not like yesterday you came home and announced to me that there is no 2020 volt system on board again.
220. Yeah, I know, but that only took like a couple days compared to like the amount of work that it, like the 4 weeks of work that it took. I'm actually pretty impressed that I didn't have more problems
Yeah.
with it. So what did we do? So we put in a lithium starter battery, put in lithium bow thruster batteries, and Sophie, you even got to use those when you moved the boat from Harrington
Yes.
up to here. How did you think that went?
Oh my God, let me tell you about it. Because so we replaced our starter batteries, both for the engine and the bow thruster, from AGM 95 amp hour, I believe.
I don't know, something. Yeah.
Something to your 135 amp hour Dakota Lithium Plus. So now our boat is all lithium. And because you can pump more juice out of the batteries when you use them, the bow thruster is so much more powerful, which is insane. It didn't even cross my mind that it could happen. But when we tested the bow thruster, I was like, oh my God, the difference is noticeable.
Yeah, it's because they don't drop in voltage. There's not as much voltage sag, so it was really noticeable. And then in the house bank, we have a bigger house bank now. What is it? 840 amp hours over 3 batteries instead of 680 over 4 batteries. And then we took the 4th battery bay that I had, and that's a backup battery. So if we can do anything with that battery, we can start the motor with it. We can't really run. Yeah, we could run the bow thruster. We could even run the house bank, and we actually had to do that a couple days ago because in my troubleshooting, I blew the main fuse of the boat, and it wasn't from anything I did. It turned out the fuse was faulty, which I didn't even know.
So is it confirmed that the fuse was
faulty?
faulty?
I can't figure anything else out because it was all installed right.
But you replaced the fuse?
I replaced the fuse.
And now it works?
Yeah, everything works fine.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that was like the first of my troubleshooting, but that wasn't my fault. And then we have a little issue with our, so the other thing I did was we have our boat, because it's European, its AC electrical system is 220 volts, or like a European system. And now we're in the US and we'll plan on being in North America for a little while. So that brings with it 2 challenges. One is to how to charge the batteries when you're in the marina. So we don't have an ability right now. Well, we didn't have an ability to plug in 110 volt US system into the boat. And then the other challenge is if you're in a place for a while, and like most of our appliances on the boat are the European plug and 220 volt system. And of course, sometimes stuff breaks down, like our toaster breaks down once every other year or so. The microwave's on its last leg. The wet dry vac was on its last leg. Now it's dead. So if you...
Is it officially dead?
Yeah, I chucked it. So if you want to get replacements, then you're going to have to buy them from a European site and have them shipped in. So I thought that would be a little annoying. So what I've done is added a completely separate 110 volt system. So we can plug into the dock, and then any of our 110 appliances, American appliances, we can plug in the boat too. So now we have 2 sets of outlets, kind of 2 sets of everything. Not what you would typically find on a 40-foot boat, but she's now a global cruiser. She could go anywhere and plug anything in. And
this boat is so massively over-equipped. It's ridiculous.
It's a little over-equipped.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Whoever gets this boat next is a lucky person. But also, it's going to be a lot of system to understand and maintain and learn. So,
yeah. So we cleaned up all the. Oh, did the audio's a little bit? That might be because my audio, I hate these microphones. Sophie loves them. I think in 2 years we're all going to look back at these Rode mics and laugh that we're wearing them. Let's see here. That was why it was so complicated, because then I cleaned up the whole battery box too, which required a lot of woodworking and drilling and crimping and new wires and tracing wires and pulling out old wires. It was just a lot of work. And then ultimately you don't have the parts that you need. So you spend a day and you realize you don't have parts. So you order the parts, it takes a few days for them to come in. And then Sophie and I were only working with one car. So she might have the car and I'm at the boat, and then I can't get to the store. So that's, it was a big project.
Yeah. Every day, Ryan would start the day by going to West Marine to buy electrical parts, and then go to the boat and spend the day at the boat, do a little work, have a few social events. There's been a lot of socialization.
So Mike, we have a comment here that says, let's see how many electrical devices I fry. The good thing is we can't, because they are European plugs or they are American plugs. So it would be very hard to screw that up. So unless you put an adapter on it and confused yourself, but you'd have to actually try at that. So yeah.
I agree with you, Andy. I think that Ryan has done an amazing
Thank
work.
you. I'm very proud of my electrical box that nobody will ever see.
But that's not true.
That's not true. I brought a few people down to look at it.
And we're gonna make videos about that electrical refit that we need to write. That's probably one of the reasons that I think your tech videos are popular, is because we break them down into understandable concepts. So they're all scripted. And the reason why those electric refit videos have not seen the light of the day is because we need time to write them.
I have had zero time to write them because I've just been working so hard.
Show us the box. You know what? Actually, I think that we could do that. Let's give your box its 5 minutes of glory, Ryan. I'm gonna go remove the bag, open the
Okay,
cabinet.
I'll keep talking then.
All right.
So she'll get it ready. Let's see here. Is there a relationship to battery output and inverter size? Yeah, that really depends on the specs of the battery. So it depends on how many you have and what it would be the discharge C rate is. So that would let you know how much juice can come out of the batteries at any time. So yeah, you might be able to make it bigger. It just depends on the bank. So yes, there is a correlation there. But yeah, so that was a very big project.
I'm trying
and there was a lot of filming.
I'm trying to not make too much noise because my microphone's on.
There was a lot of filming involved, but then again, it was a lot of boring, tedious work. So there was filming and then like days of no filming because I was literally just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So, okay.
Okay, Ryan, are you ready to show the result of your amazing work?
Try to do this. Are you going to be, I think you're going to have to pick that up.
That is probably true.
Let's try this. All right, we're going to try this, guys.
All right.
No, don't, just leave that. Yeah.
We're going to need it. Okay. Okay. Do you want to put the laptop down and then give us a little tour?
Okay, it's right on the steps here. So.
Okay.
All right. So this is the. Here. Okay, so we can't see your comments, guys. So these are the new Dakotas here, and then Well, what I did was cleaned all this up. So if you look at a picture of it before, there was just like wires everywhere, and like to get down into it, change anything was kind of like risking your own life. So I built this battery box, and then we put the MPPTs in a nice place so they were easily accessible. And I used this Lynx distributor here.
What is a link distributor?
It's just a fancy bus bar.
Okay.
And then and then I just cleaned up all the wires, made it look nice. Obviously, like what you can see, I spent a lot of time making this stuff look nice and trying to make it all to code.
If you hold this, I'm going to try to give another angle. You guys, it's very hard to operate a camera live. There we go. Look at that.
Careful, don't step on that too hard. Yeah.
All right. I think that's going to be it for the live streaming of our electric system. Let's go back.
I got to show my panel though, because I've had this panel on the boat for like 2 years because I had this vision of how this would look. So I took out all the old Beneteau switches and I put in this blue C panel, which I really like. And then all these breakers have purposes, which we don't need to get into, but
show your panel.
This is my panel. So it's really great because this is for the house bank. And so this is the main bank. And then we can go to a backup bank. And then same thing with the starter. So we have the main starter, and then it shares that same backup bank. So yeah,
that's it. All right, I'm going to turn the camera. We've never done a live during which we walk around the boat. All right, do you want to take the laptop, Ryan?
Yeah, just like. Yeah, this is a new one.
It's fun. You guys let us know what you think in the chat. We're going to go back and look at your comments. The comments in the live chat are Ryan's favorite. The comment and the question. I think you really enjoy the questions that we get in the comments.
All right, so let's see what we got. I've done something.
Yeah, let's hope that everything is fine.
So, yeah, that was a nightmare to work in. That's for sure, Stephen. I actually have photos of me sitting in the box doing stuff. Yeah, don't get electrocuted live. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Let's see here. How are the batteries tied down? They're actually not. The strap's not in place at the moment, but I have a strap drilled onto the hard part of it. So, yes, let's see here.
We had questions about what happens to our old batteries. Do you want me to answer that one?
Sure. Yeah.
So our old batteries, they're not really that old. They're like what? We installed them in 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
This
no, 18. Yeah.
No, not 18. We installed them in Almerimar.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
In 19. And they still have a lot of life in them. So we're actually going to give them to a friend of ours who's been helping us so much. It's our friend Jeff Back. He is currently allowing us to stay in an apartment that's 5 minutes away from the boat, which is saving our lives. We've been living there for 3 weeks now, hopefully no more. But he's been super, super helpful. And so we're just gifting those batteries to him because, yeah.
We have a philosophy that if we get free stuff, we give away the stuff that it replaces.
Yeah.
So that's part of that philosophy that we have.
Yeah, we get those batteries because Ryan is still a part owner of Dakota Lithium. Oh my God, are you going to watch the microphone? Are you
my Rode? No.
No.
My mic keeps I hate these mics. I know you like them, but I think they're stupid looking.
All right, you guys, give us a thumb up or a thumb down for the microphones.
So yeah, they are Group 31-ish. This just does not work. They are Group 31-ish batteries. They are a little bit thicker. And yes, I do have 2 Victron Multi-Pluses on. So one is a 220 and one is a 110. And then there was a question about the wire size. So the thickest wire I have on there is about as thick as you can get on a boat, which is 4/aught. So that's about 120 millimeters square. It's very big. It's very expensive. Yes, brought to you by West Marine.
And yes, Jeff is the patron saint of all sailing YouTubers. He's pretty great.
So that was that project. And while that project was going on, you took part in your own project.
Yes.
You should talk
Also,
about that.
a lot of fun. My sheet project. Oh my God. Yes. For the last 2 years, I had a permanent blister on my thumb that came from our Japsco manual pump toilet. And I hated every time that I had to go satisfy my primary needs. So I was telling Ryan that we really needed to change the toilet. Ryan was not having it until one day Ryan was at a professional fair, a trade show in Miami.
Yep, that's
Yes.
right.
So Ryan went to Miami with Dakota Lithium at a show for boating professionals or something. And Japsco was there. And Ryan told them that I had this idea to make the shittiest video ever. And as a result, Japsco sent us the new version of their Quiet Flush electric toilet, and I installed it myself. I turned into a plumber, and I did a really, really good job until we tested the toilet. And at the first test, everything looked great, everything was fine. So we started using the toilet. And Ryan was simultaneously changing the shower pan, which is in the same bathrooms. So the shower pan was open and we could see what was going on under the shower. And I saw a little bit of water coming in there. And then as we started flushing more and more, there would be more water. And that water smelled awful. That is when we realized that we had a leak in the toilet pipe. And not the nice kind of leak, not a freshwater leak, not a raw water kind of leak, a sewage kind of leak. And that sewage went everywhere in the bilge. And what had happened, if you're familiar with boat toilets, is that the pipe, the waste pipe, sometimes if you flush with raw water, with seawater, the urine and the seawater will interact and create calcification inside of the pipe. And we had quite a bit of it. We thought that we had banged the toilet pipe enough during the installation of the toilet to get rid of that calcification. But apparently what we had done is to make more of it crumble, and it fell in the pipe and created a clog. And so a week after the installation of our new toilet, we had to disassemble the toilet pipe, which was a nightmare, and go bang it against the sidewalk.
Somebody asked if the mic would clip to my hat.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's very stylish. Oh my God. Anyways, the toilet pipe is back on. It was a terrible job. I cleaned the sewage from our bilge, and life goes on. That was it.
So does your electric toilet work?
Yes, it works, and it's great. It's wonderful. I love it. It's everything that I wanted it to be, and it's fantastic. And now it doesn't leak anymore, so that's also,
Part of the funny story from this is when I was at this trade show, there was another vendor of electric toilets, and I went and talked to them also. And as I was talking to them, they actually had an electric toilet there, and they were like, "Do you just want to take this toilet that they had?" And I was like, "Do you have a box for it?" And they're like, "No, you just have to take it." And I was like, "So I'd have to take it on the plane with me?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I did think about it for a while, but I elected to not do it. So
yeah. So Zach, we decided to ditch raw water for the toilet. So the toilet is exclusively on fresh water.
it's on fresh water.
And it's much, much nicer.
So we just hope the power doesn't go down, the control box always works, and the water maker works. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
No need for a flushing toilet.
Okay. So the mic on the hat is giving really good audio.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Okay. I rest my case.
Yes, and we do know that you can connect lavs to them. I would prefer those, but Sophie likes these big black boxes hanging on.
I have the lavs. It's just on a day-to-day basis. It's just more, practical. Anyways.
So those have been our projects, and then there's been like some odds and ends bits. We got the sales up yesterday and today. Water makers work. Everything's working now.
Yeah, knock on wood.
So
So yeah, all we need is to sort of move back on board. We have the entire upholstery in the apartment at the moment. We're probably going to move it back very soon. Tomorrow we're taking a little bit of a break.
Well, we need to do something in the morning.
We're going to be doing something in the morning, but then we need to leave at 11.
I think we should move the cushions on the boat tomorrow.
All right,
You
fine.
can sit.
Tomorrow we're moving the upholstery back on board. Yay!
I'll move my clothes too. I'm all packed.
Nice.
I packed today.
Oh, you packed? Yeah.
I had to fold the laundry, and while I was folding, I packed it in my bags.
Well, how hard? Yeah, when you're Ryan Ellison, packing is not very hard. You have like what, 2 pair of shorts, 10 t-shirts, 3 hoodies.
No, it's more than 10 t-shirts, but it's on that level, order of magnitude.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few more questions following up on the electrical stuff before we move on from that. Yes, we do run the windlass, the lithium. We've actually done that since day one. We were running the windlass off the old lithium too. So that works really well. Yep. And then somebody asked about how do we handle 220 versus US 240. That was what I was explaining a little bit earlier. So we have two inlets, power inlets onto the boat now. One is a European 220 inlet, and the other one is an American 110 30 amp inlet. But that one, if you know anything about these inlets, this is very nerdy. There's a standard for the inlets and the power size, and the American and the US one, the 16 amp European and the 30 amp American one, look very, very similar. They're just off by like millimeters in terms of how the metal is. So in my risk management mindset, I was like, this has the potential, as somebody said earlier, for somebody to plug the wrong plug into the outlet, and then we're going to blow some stuff up. So what I ended up doing is, instead of using the standard American one, there's a company called Smart Plug in the US, and they make a tighter fitting plug, but it's very unique looking. So I went with that on the US side so that you can't mess that up. And then each one independently, is they're on like parallel tracks. They come into the boat, and then one feeds one inverter, one feeds the other inverter. And then I've designed this whole system, even though we're not going to operate it this way, that it could take the load if both inverters were running at full capacity. So
Man, that's
it's
so
a
nerdy.
very overly engineered system, and whoever takes this boat next is going to have a really, really nice system on their boat.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, we're probably gonna have to spend like a couple of days.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to have to spend some time with the next person.
Buys the boat to teach them all of the systems and how they work and how to maintain them.
It's pretty simple, but it's pretty, like, if you were not used to it, you would come on and maybe be overwhelmed. But once you dig into it, it's pretty simple.
The thing is, Polar Seal really is a first-time cruising boat.
Yeah. If you want to cruise, if you want to do Europe and the US both for extended periods, it's a perfect boat for that.
Yeah.
Perfect boat.
It really is. But she's not going to be on the market for a little while.
We'll see.
Oh. Oh.
We had a question about that.
I read that Heidi and Freddie are here. Hi, hello. And also that they're on their way here. They're about to get to Beaufort, North Carolina.
Oh.
You ladies were going to be here soon, right? Soon-ish, around June, I believe. I think we're going to miss you. But also, I'm saying that I thought we were going to leave 3 weeks ago. So obviously, that worked well for us. Did we have any... if we ever get Starlink. Yes, we've been using Starlink since August of last year.
Yeah, we used it all winter at my parents'. We haven't had it on the boat. We're going to keep it with us. I'm not sure we're actually going to need it this year because we're going to be along the coast the whole time, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So
we've decided, I guess, that we haven't really talked about it. I talked about it at the end of our last video last week, that we were opening the idea to not do the New York canals this year. And this week, after our debacle to move back on board, which we thought was going to happen in the last 4 days, we made a formal decision to scrap the plan. We're a bit sad about it, but also very relieved, because it would have been very stressful for us to complete that loop. Even if we had altered the path, the route that we chose, it would have been very difficult for us to take the canals, get up the St. Lawrence River, and then down back to Annapolis in time for the boat show. And this is the first year that we can sail without stress. Now, all the stress that comes out of our lifestyle is now a choice at this point. So we decided that we were not going to stress ourselves. What we're going to do is when we move back on board, we're probably going to hang around the Chesapeake for a week or two. Just get back
to get this little fur bucket used to the boat.
The floof.
She's got some boat anxiety, I think.
Yes.
So we've been bringing her every day. And
do you think she has boat anxiety?
Yeah, I think so.
Why?
She'll walk down the dock fine now, but when you can tell when you're about to go down to pick her up, she gets like all nervous and she runs. Yeah, she's done it the last couple times.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I thought that she's always super comfortable on the boat.
Yeah, once you get her on, I think it's like the getting off.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Well, that's
you took her out in like a small tender yesterday.
I did.
Yeah, and she loved it.
Yeah, she's
doing really good with like the sounds, the loud sounds, and everything.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna try to stay around Annapolis and the Chesapeake Bay for a couple of weeks, just to get back into things, get back into a nice rhythm, and then we're probably gonna shoot straight up north to Nova Scotia, and slowly work our way back down to Annapolis when we feel like we've had enough with Nova Scotia, which I don't know when that would happen. Probably when it starts to get cold in September. And go down to Newport, Block Island, Massachusetts. I'm going to butcher some names here, but essentially just go down the East Coast slowly and comfortably. That is the plan. It's a bit sad that we altered a plan that I had been dreaming of for so long, but also I was definitely feeling stressed in the last month. And not in a healthy way.
We couldn't have done this any faster, I think.
And we still work. Ryan is you have a lot of work these days, and I think it's super stressful for you because the boat is not ready. You're putting so much time in the boat, but you also have to maintain a full-time job. I have some consultancy clients still, and we've been doing really well with video production so far. I'm a little bit behind now because, well, we have been suffering delays. We
kind of go through periods.
We go through ups and downs. This is a down, but yeah, we just decided that it was not worth getting stressed. So this year is about really taking it easy and enjoying what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rajan, if I said that right, sorry if I butchered it. Boat prices have gone up significantly since you bought the boat. Do you see it as a good investment? That is an interesting question because when we bought this boat,
we never saw it as an investment.
I did not see it as I thought it would probably drop. Well, actually, it's not totally true. The surveyor that we had told us, he said the boat's in really good shape, and if you take care of it and sail her and take care of it, so she's used because boats degrade really fast when they're not used. He said you'll probably get the capital out of it that you spend on it now. You won't get all the investment into it, but you probably get the capital of it. So I was like, all right, cool. If we can make it a wash over however long we have the boat, that'd be awesome.
Which even that is like, that does not exist.
It doesn't usually happen. But now it ended up like, you can't even find these two. I looked the other day, there was like 5 Beneteau 40s for sale globally.
Really?
Yeah, and none were these two cabins.
Really?
None of them. Yeah.
But maybe it's because now the boat is significantly older than when we bought her. But
they made like 500 or 600 of these boats.
I don't know.
It's like there's like 3 of them just around here.
When we bought Polar Seal, there were, I don't know, like dozens of them on the market. Yeah. And then we narrowed our search to Europe. And then we narrowed our search to 2 cabins. We narrowed our search to 2 cabins with like a deep keel, I believe. And we had the choice between 5 different Beneteaus, 1 in England, 1 in Spain, a couple in Greece. And these days, you just don't find those boats anymore. And it's a bit crazy.
It's pretty interesting. Tim, he's our buddy Tim, who got us this boat spot. What did I unplug?
Yep, you did.
He got us this boat spot. Tim is a boat broker. He's got a sailboat, very nice sailboat, just across from us. But he is a boat broker, and he has a theory because Sophie and I were always convinced that COVID was the thing that really pushed the boat sales, and I'm sure that it did. But his theory, and I think there's some truth to this, is that YouTube, and I'm not saying we cause this, there's a whole conglomerate of people and the internet, and people producing videos about the lifestyle has made people realize that they can live a remote working lifestyle. And that's kind of driven them on and do remote work with. Like the sailboat is the route that you need to go, just to have all those conveniences. You just don't have the speed convenience per se. So I think he's got something to his theory there.
Yeah, maybe.
But was it a good invest? Let's put it this way: I wouldn't invest in
Don't invest
a sailboat or any boat thinking that it's an investment. But times have been good.
And also, when we bought the boat, we never looked at it as a financial investment. We looked at it as an investment in terms of how rich it was going to make our lives, and it certainly did. John and Marlene joined us. Hi, John and Marlene. John and Marlene helped me take the boat from Harrington Harbor North, where she was at the yard, up here to Annapolis, and became friends. And I was really hoping that we would go see John and Marlene in St. Michael's on their sailboat this weekend, and that is not happening. So here, I saw a couple of comments.
Zach asks, does our boat smell like gas or something? Gas or oil?
No, just sewage.
Just sewage at the moment. Typically, no, it typically doesn't. And I remember somebody always telling me, like, oh, don't ever let somebody tell you that the boat should smell like gas, oil, sewage, or have a little water in the bilge. There's some exceptions to that rule. But it really shouldn't smell like that. So there's ways to keep things clean. It's usually lazy people or something's broken. Yeah. Which you'll want to get fixed.
GB asks, will you establish a home location in the US that you can return to? Yes. Yes. This is partly due to the fact that as part of my green card, I need to have residency in the United States until I have citizenship. And so for a very long time, Ryan and I were looking at establishing a little bit of a home in a place that we could return to when we're not sailing, which happens. The frequency in the last 5 years has been once a year or once every year and a half. We usually take a land break. And during those months, what's happened is that we rely on short-term rentals, and they're not only very expensive, they were not always very comfortable, and so you're never really home. And my back, I think I shot my back on all the Airbnb beds that we've been sleeping in the last few years.
Yeah, we've been in some not comfortable beds.
Yeah.
It's even also, at my parents' house.
Yes.
There's a story behind it.
But they fixed it. I had, when I was in Iowa this winter, every morning I would wake up in tremendous pain. And I thought it was because I was becoming old. And eventually one day I went to Europe a little bit before you, and you slept on my side of the bed, and you woke up in the morning in tremendous pain. And that's when we realized it was your parents' old mattress, and I was sleeping on your dad's side. And,
in our big hole.
Yes. And so they changed the mattress.
We rectified that.
Magically, my back pains disappeared.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
But now every time that I sleep in a mattress that's a little old, I get really stiff and it's painful. So the idea has been to establish a bit of a home in the United States that we can rent out. My idea was to create a little safe harbor for our fellow cruisers. Because I don't know, Sam and Sydney, I want to hear what you have to say about this in the comments. But it seems like you guys spend a lot of times on the boat. I think that you live on board 100% of the time. And I found it to be pretty rare that cruisers live on their boat 100% of the time without ever taking a land break. So my idea was to establish a place where cruisers could take a little land break and see, that we can return home to. But the reality is that right now, economically, is not a good time to do that.
Yeah.
It's just not.
There's no houses for sale.
There is no houses for sale. The market is just insanely crazy. Also because I'm a new immigrant, I do not have a track record of income that could allow me to get any type of mortgage. So it's a long-term goal. It's the long-term vision. So we'll see.
Long-term vision.
But yeah, that was a good question.
All right. What other questions do you guys have?
Oh, look, Barnacle wants to say hi. COVID also caused a multiple-year backlog for new boats, driving the price and availability of used boats. That's a good point. Also, somebody made a comment about how, compared to Sam Holmes, we're like Bill Gates, the Bill Gates of.
What are we missing? We're missing air conditioning, and let me tell you, in the east coast of the U.S. in the summer, in August, I think when I came here last year, I wished we had it, but we won't get that. That's too much, and we don't have the space. What's the other thing? Air conditioning and a dishwasher. That would be the two things that we're missing.
I cannot believe that you're saying a dishwasher.
I'm so tired of hand washing dishes.
Wow, I never thought that they would.
We don't have any space, so it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I mean, we could make space, but then we're gonna have to lose something else. We got to find some. We got to make a little like dog bed safe area for Barnacle. I haven't quite decided how I'm gonna do that yet, so I actually haven't thought about it. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sam and Sydney live on board 100% of the time. I'm impressed. I don't know if that's because certain boats are easier to be aboard 100% of the time, or some people are just more apt to, more adaptable. And maybe I'm not as adaptable. I don't know. I just know that for me, in order to have that lifestyle being sustainable, I need to take a break from the constant problem solving and the constant decision making, and just like let my brain rest for a couple of months at a time.
See, Barnes is still getting used to noises.
But she's doing so good. She's doing good. Okay. Was there any questions? Did you see any questions?
I had another battery question, but it feels like skipping around, but I can answer it. So the question was, do you have a wet cell or a lead acid, I guess, connected to the alternator? Keep blowing the alternator should the BMS shut down. So typically you have an alternator, you have a lithium bank. If the BMS shuts down, it can create a thing called a dump load, or a transient voltage spike, I believe is the technical jargon for that. I don't actually know what the technical definition is. I just know that it's called a transient voltage spike, but we'll call it a dump load. So a dump load because it has no place for the power to go, so it creates a big spike in the voltage. So in order to subdue that, you can have a lead acid battery connected to it. I did that originally. I had that set up originally on my version 1 of my lithium bank, but I found that. And then I had a battery-to-battery charger charging the lithiums. But I found that that was a very inefficient way to use my alternator and then to charge the lithiums. So remove that and had the alternator charge the lithiums directly, and then use battery-to-battery charger to charge the lead acid. And what I did to protect the system is I used a thing from Sterling Electric or Sterling Power. I can't remember which one it is. Sterling Power. They make a alternator protection device, which is a little box that is supposed to stop the transient voltage spike from happening in the case of a dump load. Now, whether or not that little box actually works, they have a video where they show online that it does work by using a battery switch and causing a dump load. Looks like it works. I have not tested it, and nor will I test it, because that would blow up like a lot of equipment if it didn't work. But that's what I'm using in place. And now everything is lithium, but I still have to have those battery-to-battery chargers between the batteries, because all the lithiums are at different states of charge, and connecting lithiums at different states of charge together to charge them can create fireworks of their own. So we have little battery chargers all over the boat.
Yeah.
That was a technical explanation to a complex question.
We're talking about electrics a lot today, which is fine.
Transient voltage spikes.
Oh, great. We're having questions about our next boat and if we ever intend on crossing over to the Pacific.
I would love to go to the Pacific. I want to go so bad, but we have a dog now, and life is happening.
You know that the dog is not a limiting
I know. I want to go.
factor.
Like, if you said we need to go to the Pacific, I would be like, let's go. Let's pack it up and go. We got Starlink now. We can. That was always our big, like, that was always the reason we said we couldn't go, was because the internet wasn't good enough.
Huh, okay.
And now the internet is fine.
And then there was COVID for 3 years.
And then there was COVID.
There was that too.
Yeah. But all that aside, that was the internet was the one thing that was keeping us from going.
Yeah.
from working remote, and now we have that solved.
After 2 years of immigration struggles, I told Ryan the first thing that we're going to do when we get to the US is that we're getting a dog. And that was an announcement. It was not really a question. But the deal was that when we want to go to the Pacific, Barnacle has a place at my mom's. And now my parents are actually excited about hosting Barnacle for a few months.
That's right.
And she reminds me of that a lot. That, she's like, so when is Barnacle coming?
Well, we could go to the Pacific. I do like this comment here from Lifen. Hold on a sec. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Considering the price of bulk paper plates and bowls versus the cost of a dishwasher,
no,
we could just do that, honey.
Not
just
happening.
Have that cabinet with paper plates.
No, not happening.
It's disposable.
No,
it's disposable. Just chuck it out in the water. It degrades.
The trees will love you for that.
There's something to be said about. Yeah, but trees can regrow.
No, oh my God, I cannot believe that you said that.
They regrow.
No, Ryan, no.
Who's with me here? Put it in the comment section. No. Okay.
No one's with you.
Let's see. Susan asked, do I think that my setup would protect me from a lightning strike? The thing is that lightning strikes I don't know a lot about them. All I know, it's a ton of voltage, and you can have the best setup boat for a lightning strike and still have big problems. Nothing on your boat get hit and have no problems. So electricity at that level is a very I don't think we actually understand it as a human population very well. So to answer your question, if I got hit by lightning in this boat, I think that I would lose probably most of the equipment. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that is what we have insurance for.
The insurance has some rules on it, but I mean, you can even not get hit. A boat a mile away could get hit, and it can still affect your boat.
Yeah.
So it's such a finicky thing.
Yeah.
So because of that, I try not to stress about it. It's that's one of those act of God things, as they call it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Someone asked. Oh gosh, I've lost my thread of thought. Yes, Stephen, I'll check Ryan instead of the plates. Absolutely. If we've considered moving into an RV as a home, no, and there are reasons for that. I think that the first one is that one thing that I miss about having a place where we go back to is a sense of community and having that the same people are going to be there. And in Annapolis, we really found that. I think that in the chat there are a few people that are part of our little Annapolis family, and it's nice to not be nomadic for a little while. I have to say, I know that not everybody's going to relate with that. A lot of people like to live this lifestyle to be on the go all the time. I like it, but I also like to have my my community, my people. It's very important. So I don't think that I would see another mode of transportation as a land-based home. Also, we need an address. Yeah, there is that.
Doug asks if we think having a 40-footer in the Greek islands, would you rather have a sailboat or a powerboat? It's a very complicated question, but I have an answer for this. They both are a lot of work. They're a lot of work in different ways. So you're going to do a lot of engine work and system work on a powerboat. You're going to do a lot of everything work on a sailboat. That said, if you want to anchor a lot, I think a sailboat's the way to go because they don't if you put a sailboat next to a powerboat on an anchorage that's swelly, the powerboat's going to be all over the place unless you have a really nice gyro stabilizer inside, which are very expensive and use a lot of power. So on a 40-foot boat, it may not be a solution. Whereas a sailboat sits a lot steadier and a catamaran sits the best. So if you were going to be in a marina a lot and you wanted to be in marinas a lot, the powerboat is probably the way to go. Yeah, that's my thought on that.
I would also.
But powerboats are so expensive.
I was going to say,
if you compare the the footage to, You could buy a sailboat for a quarter of the price and then use all the savings on just hiring people to do the work for you. And then you don't have to do, well, it's still going to have problems with that, but like you don't have to worry about it then.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about.
I was going to say,
if you found a cheap, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
like the third time
I
you
know,
cut
I'm
me
sorry.
off.
I'm sorry.
This is a party.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. No, I was going to look at the cost of ownership. Owning a motorboat is just so expensive. Oh well. Someone is curious to hear me speak French. So fun fact, one day I made an entire video in French and it lost us a lot of subscribers, which is
true.
fine. It's okay. If the kind of content that we make doesn't resonate with you anymore, it's completely okay to leave. We grow. Sometimes we grow apart. But yeah, I don't know what I would say in French. I find it so funny when people ask you, "Oh, can you speak yada yada language?" And you're like, "Sure, but what do you want me to say?" Anyways.
I think it's really funny that our sailing live stream session, if you go look at the comments, there's a whole section about paper plates and trees. I just think it's funny.
I love how in our community we have the most random discussions. This morning I woke up and in our Patreon WhatsApp group, there was an entire discussion about waste tanks. And I was here for it, 100%.
It was a whole big thread about waste tanks.
It was great. We have the best conversation with our Patreon WhatsApp group. It's great. I'll give it a shout out. Awesome Patreon WhatsApp group. Okay. Well.
Okay. What are your more questions?
Yeah, Ryan told me before this live stream that he was a little tired. Normally we're on for about 2 hours. But today he was like, maybe we need to not make it 2 hours so that we're not exhausted by the end of it. And
I'm pretty exhausted.
You are. I know. It's been.
I'm keeping it up for you guys though.
So a fun fact. I don't know if that's fun. I'm going to tell you how the video production has been going for the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, I believe, or was it last week? I started a video which I wanted to make about how we make Polar Seal ready for life on board. So what kind of equipment I have in my galley, the comfort that we have on board, what do we use versus what do we not use, etc. And I was going to redecorate the boat a little bit, which I'm still doing. And the video was going to end with us actually living on board again. That has not happened. I had to scrap that idea. I mean, not scrap the idea, but park it on the side until we're actually moving back on board and I can, wrap up the video. So yesterday, I decided to make a video about some harsh realities of what it's like to live on board a boat. And, a disclaimer, those are based on our own experience. Not everybody has them. But at the end of the video, Ryan is just passed out on the couch. And
I came home today, I passed out too.
Yeah,
you were trying to talk to me and I was like,
you have been passing out on the couch. I'm going to make a confession. One of the things that have been challenging in the last few weeks is feeding ourselves. Because again, we're in short-term rentals. We're not back on board with all of our equipment and, in a place that we know. So not sponsored. I've been ordering HelloFresh. And HelloFresh,
I think it's pretty good.
HelloFresh is what has been keeping us going for the last week. And
I think it's pretty good.
And I think that our energy levels have been back up because we eat a little bit better. So, yeah. But Ryan
I think it's pretty good.
Ryan has been a little bit tired.
But the mistake we made with HelloFresh is that if you ask for 2 servings, like for one for each of us, it's 2 servings. And we love leftovers. So I think now we need to order for like 6. And then we have a bunch of food left over. I also have to show you guys that I have a new hat.
You have it? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I just saw this.
You know what? I think that we should make a Polar Seal hat like this, in that style.
It's got a lobster on it.
It's got a
lobster on it.
You look cute.
I have to hold
this is a great hat to sail in the Caribbean, and I already know that Ryan is going to be wearing that hat in Canada all summer. It's okay.
Oh, there you go. An idea for you making a video is you making a video.
Yes. So that's something that I've actually been thinking about for a while, but it's a little more, in order for me to make a video about how I make a video, the logistics are complicated. And I also want to make sure that it has value for whoever watches it, that there is like some concrete information that you can get. So it's a little more complicated than it sounds. But I really liked my harsh realities about living on a sailboat. There, one of them is, yeah, you'll have to watch it.
Yeah, Adriana, I definitely got this at the local.
Oh, it's Adriana here.
Yeah.
Hi.
I definitely got this at the local West Marine. I liked it. They had some other ones, one with like an anchor and something else, but the lobster's the coolest. Yeah, yes on the Polar Steel straw hat. I just don't know where to get them made. This is the problem. I'll have to ask the guys at West Marine.
Adriana, who's in the chat, sent me the best coffee I've ever had. It's I think I am forever ruined when it comes to coffee because
some of our Patreon, Greg and Christine, are there.
Yes, I told them. Yeah. I didn't ask them to bring some. I told them, listen, if you find this, you should buy some because it's the most delicious coffee. It's called Catalina coffee. If you're in Puerto Rico, you should get some. It's amazing. But yeah, thank you, Adriana. It was amazing. Now every morning is great, and every morning after that is going to be sad. No, I'm kidding.
So yes, the hat is keeping the sun off of us. Sophie and I, as all of you should do who are on boats, did our yearly mole skin check.
Yep.
A few weeks ago.
Yep.
I got something burned off my face.
Yep, you did. Can you show us? Yep.
It's a little red still.
Get yourself checked.
It's so weird. I'd never had it. They just take this bottle and they're like, "Oh, look at that." Okay. That's right, Barnacle. I know. Very scary.
Oh, Jimmy, that's a great question. Do you feel pressure for a certain level of humor and energy in your videos? No, I don't. No. I don't know if I ever said or talked about it in on YouTube before, but I was born in the 80s and I grew up in the 90s where, you know, your image of how to be cool and how to be a great girl was mostly in the magazines. And so I don't know if you guys remember that in the 90s, diet culture was a big deal. And so those magazines would always make me feel super inadequate and make me feel fat, made me feel like I didn't have enough money to buy the cool clothes. And I thought that it was so great when social media came to be that now, you know, what was popular was real life and real people. And, well, fast forward 10 years later, now social media is just like as crappy as depicting reality as the magazines were in the 90s. So I've always vowed to myself that I would never try to represent something that I am not. When I feel crappy, I say it. And yeah, so I never feel the pressure to be funny or to have high energy levels in a video because, you know, I want to come across as the real person that I am.
Could you just grab her a bowl of water?
Oh, is he thirsty, you think?
A bit thirsty.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so the answer is no. I don't feel that pressure. I don't put it on myself. I also don't really put too much pressure on myself to produce, which is why I'm so happy to have another job on the side of YouTube.
Here you go.
So that I don't feel like all of my income is baked in my lifestyle. It's also nice. So yeah. Have you seen the price of genuine certified Jamaican Blue Mountain or Hawaiian Kona coffee lately? Yes, I think I've looked at it. And yeah, the thing is, I actually am okay spending a little bit of money on good coffee. Yeah, it's my guilty pleasure every morning. A good cup of coffee in the morning, it makes my day. All right. Somebody asked if there was anybody in Canada that we wanted to meet. Or any boat that we want to sail with.
Anyone that's up there that wants to meet.
This is a great segue into, okay, you guys. Most people who watch our videos watch other channels as well. And there is one channel in particular that we are trying to convince to come north with us.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to throw them under the bus and ask for your help here.
Bo and Brandy. Bo and Brandy.
Hi. If you're watching this, you should come and sail north to Nova Scotia with us.
So if you guys want an assignment, you can go on Bo and Brandy's
comment section
or Instagram or whatever, and tell them they need to put their winter survivor gear on and get headed north. So that would be fun. And then maybe we meet up with Tula's Endless Summer, Billy and Sierra. We'll see. So, yes, but that's your assignment. Do good.
Sam and Sydney say we really complain about the abundance of bikini video YouTube post. I know. Ryan doesn't really want to be in a bikini as much as I would like him to be, and I agree. That is ground for complaint. I agree.
Occasionally, I'm in a bikini.
Tiago asks if I have a good coffee grinder. I do, but only on land. I don't know if I want to take it on the boat. I splurged and I bought a fellow Ode coffee grinder, and it's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It makes incredible coffee. And I think that I'm going to invest in a nice hand burr grinder for the boat so that I can grind my coffee nicely. I have, really like my coffee.
Speedo.
What's that?
Speedo. No Speedos for me.
Yes.
I don't do that Southern European thing.
Come on, you are great in a Speedo.
Nope.
You are.
Nope.
With your little butt.
Nope.
Your little butt in a Speedo.
No, don't wear them.
Ryan is more of a mankini guy.
I don't know, something.
Anyways, somebody has an Ode on board. So I feel like I could bring my Ode on Polar Seal, but once it takes a lot of space. Like good coffee grinders take space. 2, it's 110 volts. And while we do have access to the 110 volt system, I don't think that the intention is to use it every day. And also everything gets so ratty after a while on the boat. I think I want to keep my Ode nice. So yeah.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that we're going in more brackish waters. The salt is the thing that like kills everything.
Well, that and like
the salt and the sun, but we're going to places with less of both.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, somebody's watching from Hawaii. I offered a YouTube channel $1 if he wore her bikini and she wore his board shorts for an entire episode, never saying anything. That's funny.
Somebody asked about a Gumby suit. We're not going to Newfoundland, although I did briefly try to convince Sophie to go to Greenland.
Swing by Greenland.
Quote unquote. It's not that far. It's just like 4 days of sailing. Anyways, so the answer is no because dog's on the move. The answer is no because we are not going up that far. So. Wow. Oh, my mom had her message retracted.
Hi, Mary.
Is she talking bad things and YouTube is removing them? Huh.
What's the next boat gadget which you really want? That is
let's see here. Nice to have, need to have.
I think a new door.
A new door.
I know. I want a new door.
That's the companionway door we've talked about changing for so long, but it's such a nice to have.
Doors, guys. That's the nice gadget that.
And they're expensive. Like, there's a company in the U.S. called Zycor or something. I can't remember the name. They make companionway doors. They make a really nice one for the Beneteaus, but it's not. So that would be like a functional one. Like over the top, I don't need it, but it would be so cool to play with. I would really love to have one of those pan and tilt, infrared and visual light Raymarine cameras.
Oh my god, Ryan.
For no other reason than just to be able to play with it. We don't need it at all, but we are a step we should say this actually because this is part of the projects I didn't talk about. We did get Raymarine sent us
an augmented reality camera.
Well, no, hold on a sec. So Raymarine had 2 new products come out this year. The first is their Yacht Sense Connect, which is a device that provides onboard Wi-Fi through either like a SIM card or Marina Wi-Fi, and then it also connects into your NEMA system and anything else on the boat. So you can tap into your boat remotely and see what's going on. And set up geofencing and like anchor alarms, and then it also provides your internet on board. So that's kind of cool. We installed that, but then they also came out with a new camera, visual light camera that can be. And I thought the thing would be like kind of big, like this, but it's only like this big. And I would show it to you, but we just the other day mounted it to underneath our radar. And with that, I asked them to send us their augmented reality, and it's pretty cool. We got it all working yesterday, so we'll see.
Yep.
That more to come on that.
Oh, Hild is here. Hi.
So where is that going? So that would be the pan and tilt one, but it's like $30,000, and it's so unnecessary.
It was really, really spectacular. It was way better than I thought it would be, and I felt very unprepared to film any of it or take good photos. I still get some good ones, but not as many or not as cool as I would have want them to be. But it was a great day. It was really fun.
There's a lot of orca chat here. Yeah, the orca thing is. I was just talking about that with Tim today. The orca thing is like really becoming a problem, and well, my statement's going to be controversial, so I just won't say it. But something needs to be done about it. That's all I have to say.
Are we frozen?
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, people are dropping off.
Whoopsie.
Hold on.
It's okay. You guys let us know when we're back. Are we back? Yes, the power situation.
Okay, now we're back.
We're back. The power, not the power situation. The internet situation in Annapolis is not amazing, as it turns out. I think in a lot of parts in the US, I found internet to be not great. I asked Ryan if we should plug the Starlink up before our lives, but it was too late. So that's what we have. Well, thank you guys for sticking with us through through our internet issues. So yeah, the orca thing, it's crazy because we sailed the west coast of Spain, Portugal, and went through the Strait of Gibraltar a couple of times. I think during the last years that the orcas were not an issue.
That's right.
And I remember 1 year, the first year we were in Cherbourg, which is in Normandy in France, and hearing someone talk about how he lost his boat to a whale.
Hit a whale.
West of Portugal. And we thought that